All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the second day of the Seoul Olympic Legacy Forum 2024. My name is Kyungmi Kim, and I'm honored to be your MC again today. It's wonderful to see you all once more following yesterday's session. Yesterday, we delved into some insightful discussions, and thanks to your enthusiasm, we wrap up the first day very successfully. Today, I'm excited for what's ahead, and I am sure we'll continue to share valuable knowledge and experiences together. The Seoul Olympic Legacy Forum 2024 is being streamed live on KSPO's official YouTube channel and available in both English and Korean. So I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all of you joining us today. Your participation truly adds the significance of this forum. And also, we are currently holding some Instagram events for our forum. So we encourage you to participate and share your experiences. Simply follow our forum on Instagram. All right, now let's officially begin the second day of the Seoul Olympic Legacy Forum 2024 with session 4. Dr. Hyunju Jo, a senior research fellow at the Korea Institute of Sports Science, lead session 4 under the theme The Impact of a Sports Event on National and Local Community Development. And our chair and speakers are already seated on stage. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome them with a big round of applause. All right, Dr. Jo, the floor is now yours.
Thank you. Thank you for your kind introduction. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the second day of Seoul Olympic Legacy Forum 2024. Particularly, this is rather early morning session, and I really admire you all. And I'm Hyunju Jo, as introduced by, and I'm from the KISS. I'm a researcher in the Korean Institute of Sports Science in a Policy Development Department. It's such a great honor to be part of this forum as a moderator, and particularly this session with great speakers. And I hope you enjoy this session. I'd like to introduce about the KISS a bit. The Korea Institute of Sports Science is one of the only national research institute which is sponsored by the government. So we are under the umbrella of KSPO, and we work this legacy agendas for a long time. And it was the first time when I heard about the legacy as a word, as a 2010 or 2011 in a Olympic Studies Center's seminar. And as a research, sports policy researchers, when I adopted this to Korean sports policy, it's about the time when we host the Pyeongchang Olympics. By the time, the term of legacy was quite strange to us, and I was a bit frustrated how we can translate this in Korean, whether the full meaning of legacy, what they want to talk in Olympic movement, actually delivered to Korean sports policy. So we stick on to the words of legacy in English. But by this time, when we're hosting this event in forum, we Koreans fully understand what is the legacy in Korean means in Olympic movement. And I think this is a time that we think about what is the legacy and impact. And yesterday, with Professor Chapley, we talked about the concept of the legacy. And today we more talk about the impact. I do wanted to add a bit more of the justification of the legacy while we are discussing in scholarly works in Korean sport. We need to think about the context. Everybody can say about what is the legacy means, but in sport and Olympics, we want something, intentionally, positively, we want to left over. So that's our understanding of the legacy in this sport and Olympic field. So I think this session is particularly more meaningful to you all because this is what we can actually grab, what we can get it after this event. So I would like to invite our first speakers. Unfortunately, she's not with us, but she kindly sent us a video clip, and her presentation is about the international framework for promoting and measuring the local development impacts of global event from the view of the OECD. So I would like to introduce her and her presentation to you, and I hope you enjoy that. Please start the video clip.
Hello, good morning and greetings from Paris. I'm sorry I can't be there in person, but it's a real honour to be with you all today virtually. So my name is Martha Bloom. I'm a policy analyst and economist here at the OECD. And today I'm going to be speaking a little bit about how the OECD supports frameworks and international standards for promoting as well as measuring the local development impacts of global events, by which we mean major sporting events, cultural events, and business events. So the OECD has been working on what we refer to as global events and local development for almost 20 years now. So this work is housed within the OECD Local Employment and Economic Development Programme, which we call LEAD, which is part of the OECD Centre for Entrepreneurship, SMEs, Regions and Cities. So you can see how the OECD views the role of global events really as a potential catalyst for wider scale local and national economic development. We work directly with event hosts such as France, UK, the US. We conduct OECD-wide research, and we work with non-OECD member countries as well. So I'm going to talk you through a couple of our international frameworks and standards before speaking a little bit about how you can get involved in the work of the OECD. So we have the OECD recommendation on global events, which I'll explain in a moment. We've developed a toolkit to help host governments enact the recommendation, and recently last year, with the support of the IOC, we published 2 new guides on measuring the impact of global events. We're really pleased that the IOC has embraced this suite of guidance and have made it now mandatory for all Olympic and Paralympic hosts from 2030 onwards to follow these guidance. So the OECD recommendation on global events and local development is our big sort of flagship recommendation. A recommendation is what we at the OECD refer to as a sort of soft legal instrument. So really what that means is that it represents a political commitment to sort of adhering to the principles laid out in that recommendation. So this recommendation provides high-level guidance to help countries and future hosts bring greater local benefits from global events. So it talks about the pre-bidding, bidding and planning phase. For example, the importance of aligning the bidding of events with existing local and national strategies. It talks about the operational and delivery phase of global events. So, for example, the importance of putting in place strong employment policies to coincide with event hosting. It talks about the evaluation and legacy phase, so how to conduct thorough, robust evaluation studies. And of course, it talks about multi-level governance structures. And so that means both within a host country, so how does local and national governments work well together? But increasingly, we see this joint bidding across countries. And so that multi-level governance also refers to how can you ensure good coordination and cooperation even across national boundaries? So this recommendation is currently adhered to by 40 countries. That includes both OECD members and non-OECD members. So if you are watching this today and you're unsure whether or not your country is already an adherent, you can look it up on the OECD website. And if your country is not already an adherent, please do get in touch. We'd love to have you on board. So next, I'll talk a little bit about these two new guides. So why is there this need for better impact measurement for any kind of global standard, really? Well, we really see when assessing the impact of global events, when looking across the OECD and beyond at how event hosts are leveraging their events for local development, we see that there is a real sticking point in being able to evaluate those development impacts well. So each event will evaluate completely differently. So it will have different key performance indicators, different indicators of impact, but even when it's using some of the same indicators, it may be using completely different methodologies. And so why is that a problem if events are measuring and evaluating their impact in different ways? Well, it means it's really difficult to compare between events. So either comparing between different events or even comparing between the same event over time. And that makes it difficult to identify what works and, more importantly, what doesn't work, which then makes it difficult to learn and improve. So we were really delighted that the IC, the International Olympics Committee, helped supported this strand of work in developing a comprehensive set of guidance around how to measure impact, local impact and national impact. To develop this guidance, we had a 2-year consultation period with over 125 different stakeholders, so local governments, national governments, event hosts, international experts, academia, and we consolidated this work into these 2 guides. So the first guide gives an overview of approaches, so different ways in which events can be evaluated, and discusses some of the challenges, issues and debates around that impact evaluation. And some of that is quite broad topics. So what is the scope of evaluation? What should that be? Some of that is quite detailed around certain methodologies. Finally, the first guide consolidates the learning that we gained through this consultation into a set of actions for effective impact measurement. And I think in your slide pack, you will see what those actions are. The second guide is really a companion piece, and it further consolidates that advice into a framework, a concrete indicator framework, which we feel all events, sports, culture, business events can incorporate into their own impact and legacy strategy. So, of course, all events will have their own aims and goals, which are contextually specific, and that's as it should be. But we feel that having one key set of indicators that all events can use, which are then measured in some kind of consistent way, can really shift the dial on this sort of global learning experience. So the second guide not only describes this indicator framework, but it offers really practical guidance on how to implement that framework, including examples, tools, and further resources. So to give you an idea, this is what the indicator framework looks like. When it pops up on your screen, I'm sure it can seem a little bit overwhelming, but just to reassure you, there's 3 areas of impact, so environmental impact, social impact, and economic impact. And within each of these areas, we're only proposing 4 indicators each. So that's 3 indicators that we feel pretty much all events should be able to measure in some way or another, plus 3 additional sets of indicators. And again, we've purposefully kept this relatively short and sort of succinct set of indicators in the hopes that event hosts can really take this on board and can make it their own, so that we end up in a few years' time with some real measurable results that can be compared across and between events. So I think I'm getting close on time, but my final slide, I just wanted to reiterate how you all can work with us, how we work with countries, with cities, and with event hosts. So we work directly with event hosts, local and national authorities around two main areas. So firstly, we can support hosts in designing a global event impact and legacy strategy. So analysing international good practice, helping support the setting of key performance indicators, as well as those evaluation frameworks. In doing that, we draw on our OECD International Events Knowledge Exchange Community, is how we're calling it, which is our network of around over 200 international experts, past and future hosts. And we, of course, work quite closely with hosts in providing evidence of good practice and distilling some of the lessons learned. So we're currently working closely with Paris 2024 to help capture some of the international learnings that arose from the Olympic and Paralympic Games earlier this year. Secondly, we work directly with countries, cities, and hosts in helping them to design programs and initiatives to leverage the event for wider local development. So that can be in areas such as supporting job creation and skills development, leveraging the social and solidarity economy, generating opportunities for SMEs, promoting sustainable tourism, or increasing impacts on well-being, health, education, and social inclusion, as well as many, many other areas. And then finally, countries, cities, and event hosts are really encouraged to use these OECD standards. So adhere to the OECD recommendation. If your country has not done so already, please get in touch. And we'd encourage you all to use the impact evaluation framework in planning and evaluating your event. These resources are free, they're open to all, and they were developed in order to help you, as the events community, to promote more greater local and national development impacts from these events and be able to measure and demonstrate those impacts more clearly and more robustly. So I will stop here, but please do take a look at some of our guidance, some of our toolkits. If you have any questions or we can be of any further assistance, do get in touch. I wish you all a fantastic conference and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Martha. Martha probably watching this on screen. So she's economist and policy analyst in OECD, and this presentation is pretty good to overview the work of OECD local employment and economic development program in supporting event hosts to leveraging global event for local development. And I think this particularly focusing on the economic impact measurement and the labor market dynamics and innovation is gives us great insight. And Korean sports, when we do host the event, we do the feasibility study. So it's pretty much, we forecast what kind of impact that we can have. But we do not have proper impact evaluation later on, it depending on process of our policy development. So I do need to watching this research and guideline, which has been adopted 2018, so it's relatively new. So many of you in this officers in the sport in your country probably have to glimpse this and then look into and how can you apply to your government policy, and also we can modify this together. And it's such a great presentation. Thank you, Marsha Bloom. And our second presenter is Ms. Harina Harris. Harina is Program Director at the ASEAN Pacific Economic Cooperation, another big international organizations, and leading initiative within the APEC Human Resources Development Working Group. And your presentation title is Playing to Win, Leveraging Sport Events for Inclusive and Sustainable Human Resources Development in the Asian Pacific region. Please welcome Harina to the stage with a big round of applause.
A very good morning to all. Thank you for the kind introduction, Dr. Cho. I'd like to take this opportunity to express gratitude to KSBO as well as the Ministry of Culture, Sport, and Tourism for graciously hosting the forum and inviting me to speak. Ladies and gentlemen, they say a rising tide will lift all the boats. This holds true in the world of sports, where Olympic and global events can rejuvenate all communities, from generating billions of dollars in economic activities, jobs for the locals, igniting interests for youth in career-related, to helping small businesses to expand. This forum is held at an opportune time. And despite the geopolitical tensions and confluence of socio-economic risks, the forum brings us important stakeholders to discuss on not just the legacy management, but also the vital role of the community's well-being. So, in my next slide here, you will see that my keynote will focus in 4 areas. One is the introduction of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, APEC. 2, the APEC Human Resources Development Working Group. 3, scoring opportunities through APEC. And 4, fair play for building sustainable, equitable, and just global landscape from the lens of APEC. Well, an introduction to APEC. Since the inception of 1989, the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, a regional economic forum, has evolved and united all 21 member economies, including Korea, in advancing our shared goals. So there are 4 goals here that we are focusing. One is promoting trade and investment. 2 is to support economic and technical cooperation. 3 is to improve the standard living of our people in the region. And 4, building sustainable economic growth. Ladies and gentlemen, APEC is the home for about 3 billion population that generates about 62% of the global GDP and 48% of the world trade. As a result of the APEC works, the economic growth in terms of GDP has increased significantly from 19 trillion in 1989 to now it's about 52.8 trillion US dollar. Aside from the 21 member economies, APEC private arm, the Business Advisory Council, as well as the APEC Observers Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, the Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum, Pacific Island Forum, along with APEC guests such as the Association of Pacific Rim Universities, continue to bring in ideas and co-championing the capacity building projects as well as initiatives. As you can see in the next slide, the APEC is guided by the Putrajaya Vision 2040. We envision to have a strong, reliable, open, and peaceful people in the region, which are anchored in 3 economic drivers. 1 is on trade and investment. 2 is on innovation and digitalization. 3, strong, reliable, balanced, inclusive economic growth. Now, let us look at the opportunities to partner with APAC. The priorities, as well as the potential for HRD in the post-legacy management, is significant. At APAC, the priorities are very much relevant and cut across many economic sectors. A number of examples or opportunities that we'll build upon. It can be developing the educational toolkit, curriculum modules for sustainable sports administrators, giving voices to the undeserved communities, vulnerable groups, including the people with disabilities, indigenous people, women, youth, and those from the remote and rural areas to participate in the policy making and community building, as well as developing mutual recognition agreement among member economies on training, as well as recognizing professional service, and also another valuable platform to exchange the best practices among member economies. And I must say that the APEC member economies may find these ideas are compelling. And we can start the discussion with HRD working group, along with other instrumental working group under APEC. And that is including the tourism working group, the policy partnership on women and the economy, energy working group, the small, medium enterprises working group, digital economy steering group, as well as the policy partnership, science and technology. Ladies and gentlemen, by implementing this idea, we can harness the power of legacy management to build a lasting positive change on HRD, education, workforce employment and training, in ensuring that we foster a sustainable communities. Right. We've come in my concluding slide. I would like to touch on the aspects of building a sustainable, equitable, and just global sporting landscape from the lens of APAC. Ladies and gentlemen, the legacy of major sporting events and Olympics should lie beyond the field of play. Sadly, there have been reports of concern of mistreatment of workers, especially the migrant workers. It is essential for the world of sports to continue to advocate and promote ethical labor standards, from providing fair wages, good working conditions, to respect to their fundamental rights. And at HRD Working Group, we've just finalized an action plan to promote the interest and welfare of the workforce in formulating labor policies, in fostering the principles of the occupational safety and health at the workforce, as well as strengthening the social protection for all. And another important consideration for us all is in mitigating the effect of the climate change, and also to tap on to build the green skills and talents so that we can help further on enhancing the prosperity of our communities. By doing so, everyone in a community has the very opportunity to thrive regardless of their background as well as circumstances. Ladies and gentlemen, in closing, let us work together to ensure that the legacy of the Seoul Olympics, as well as the global events, continue to uplift our communities, inspire our future generations, and contribute to a more inclusive and sustainable communities and just future. I urge all of us to remember that the true legacy lies not only in the number of medals being won or number of records being broken, but it is in the lasting impact that it has on the community and the world. With that, thank you. 감사합니다.
Thank you, Harina. Yesterday, I was very impressed by the questions that Harina has been made, and now I know why she has that questions, and it was exactly sort of same as mine. So today, I'm very honored to be part of this session, particularly after these two keynote speakers, because they are talking about not only about the sport, they are actually talking about how the sport can lead the economic development and the human resources development. So I think the one who made this session deserve to get this big rounds of applause, to KSPO team who make this session comes true. Okay, our third presenters, Mr. Ham Chang-ho, who is the Managing Director of the Korea Tourism Organizations, which is in charge of Korean tourism policy under the Ministry of Sports and Culture and Tourism. Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
Hello, my name is Chang-ho Ham, and I work as a Deputy Director at Korea Tourism Organization. Today, I'll be talking about the impact of the Olympics on national image and tourism growth. Before we get into the main presentation, let me briefly introduce the Korea Tourism Organization, where I currently work. KTO was established in 1962, and it was a national tourism organization, and our main goal is to make foreign tourists visit Korea more. So we have 32 overseas offices in 23 countries. Okay, so first, let's look at the 1988 Seoul Olympic. The slogan for the Seoul Olympic was Harmony and Progress, and official song was Hand in Hand. And that song became very popular all over the world. And this event brought together both socialist and liberal democracy. And it was the catalyst to world peace. And it also showed that Korea is no longer a poor country. So as you can see in these figures, foreign visitors of 1988 were increased almost 27% compared to the previous year. And so because of Seoul Olympic, it was the cornerstone for growth of Korea tourism industry. And Seoul Olympic also boosted infrastructure development such as Olympic parks and stadium. Today, Olympic parks serve as a shelter for Seoul citizens, and Olympic Stadium is a hub for performance such as K-pop concert. I even organized a group viewing LCK final at K-Spo Dome, which is right over there. And Seoul Olympic main stadium is also major concert venue for K-pop stars like BTS, attracting many international fans to Korea. 30 years after Seoul Olympic, Korea hosted 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympic with the slogan Passion Connected. This event played a big role in boosting Korea's image and bringing more international tourists. KTO also had promoted Pyeongchang Winter Olympic as well. During the Pyeongchang Olympics, visitors from America, Europe, Oceania increased almost 22% compared to last year. And Korea's national image will improve a lot right before and after Pyeongchang Olympic. So in preparation for the Pyeongchang Winter Olympic, Korea built KTX, which is bullet train, which make 1.5 hours from Seoul to Gangwon stage, compared to 4 hours by bus before. So it made Pyeongchang and Gangneung as a top tourist city in Korea. Okay, so the slogan for the Gangwon 2024 Winter Youth Olympic was Grow Together, Shine Forever, using the legacy from 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympic. KTO worked together to promote the event worldwide. As a person in charge of sports tourism, I distribute over 5,000 mascot, which is called Mungcho, and 16,000 copies of brochure around the world to promote these Olympics. I also prepare special promotion with our overseas office in Shanghai, in Osaka and Shenyang. In China, we hosted a friendly ice hockey match between Korea and China, and attracting 10,000 visitors and promoting the Olympic to the Chinese people. Okay. And in Japan, KTO participated Tourism Expo Japan 2023 in Osaka with Lee Sang-ah, the former gold medalist. Okay, so we also organized several fam trips for promoting the Olympics. During the Olympic period, I operate the Korea Tourism Pavilion, and over 16,000 people visitors came to the pavilion in 2 weeks, where they learned tourism information and experienced Korea culture. So that was our Korea pavilion. And then this is me really working a lot. Okay, so Now, I will analyze the impact of the Olympic on tourism development using big data from Tourism Data Lab, which is run by my company, KTO. Okay, so let's start with the result from Pyeongchang in February 2024. The year 2019, before the pandemic, had the highest number of international visitors. So I will use that as a barometer. So the number of visitors was 3.2 million. It was almost 34% increase compared to 2019. And the number of navigation destination setting reached 458,000, which is almost 120% increase compared to 2019. And domestic car spending was 195 billion Korean won, which is almost 70% increase compared to 2019. And foreign car spending was 19 billion Korean won, and which is almost 57% increase compared to 2019. Let's move on to next city, which is Gangneung. The number of visitors was 9.3 million, and it was 4.2 increase compared to 2019. And the number of navigation destinations setting reached 853,000, which is 48% increase compared to 2019. And domestic car spending was 307 billion Korean won, which is 10% increase compared to 2019. The foreign car spending was 13.5 billion Korean won, which is 39% increase compared to 2019. Okay, so let's look at our two major ski resorts in Gangwon. At Yongpyeong Resort, foreign tourists booked 8,773 rooms, which is 120% increase compared to 2019. And Haiwon Resort had 18,646 foreign tourists, so which is 120% increase compared to 2019. So that's my last presentation, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Ham. It's great to see actually the impact of hosting mega sport event like Olympics on enhancing national image and tourism development, particularly the examples and statistics focusing on Seoul Olympics and also the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics, and of course also 2024 Gangwon Youth Winter Olympics as well. Yeah, we actually contribute a lot to the development of the sport tourism. You have to really appreciate to the sport and Olympics, right? Okay, next presenters. Jia Choi is a managing director of the Sportism 82. She serves on the Korea Sports and Olympic Committee, International Relations Commission with me, and also Gwangju Metropolitan City Youth Policy Coordination Commission. And also she's a board member of the Korea Ice Hockey Association for the Disabled. Her presentation is about the Gwangju's sporting legacy in motion from Universiade to World Championship. Please welcome her with a big round of applause.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. So as Dr. Cho has introduced, my name is Gia Choi. I'm the Managing Director of Sportism 82. It's a sport event management company specializing in education and operation. And it's a great honor to be here at the Seoul Olympic Legacy Forum, especially as I believe one of the human legacies of sporting events and one of the human legacies supported by KSPO as well from their several scholarship programs and educational programs that's related to sport industries and benefiting individuals who wants to go out in the industry. So after a day full of engaging discussions and earlier today, I'm very excited to share the story of Gwangju, my hometown. So while it may not be as well known as other Korean cities that you may know very well, Gwangju has a vibrant spirit and a remarkable journey shaped by sport. So as the sport industry expands globally, hosting major events has become more demanding, and Gwangju has strategically used these events not just for recognition, but to drive socio-economic growth and create enduring legacies. And today, I'll highlight how Gwangju has done this and the plans for the 2025 World Archery Championships to continue this journey. So before we begin, let me just ask, how many of you have heard of Gwangju or visited Gwangju? Okay, I see few hands going up. But Gwangju doesn't yet have the name of recognition of other cities like Pyeongchang or Seoul that you've been hearing across the day. And that's what makes this story unique. So with a population of 1.4 million, it's Korea's 6th largest city, and it's known as City of Light. It has really rich cultural and democratic legacy, and over the past decades, the city has positioned itself as a global sports destination, even ranking 24th among international sports cities, according to Sportcal. A testament to our vision of low cost and high efficiency, setting a benchmark for small to mid-sized cities on how to host impactful and sustainable events efficiently. It's as also mentioned in the box of the article. I apologize that it's only in Korean. But our goal is to establish Gwangju as a global MICE city where sports, culture, and tourism drive local growth and create a distinct global identity. So hosting major sporting events has been pivotal in Gwangju's transformation, starting with the 2015 Universiade and continuing with 2019 FINA World Championships. These events propelled Gwangju onto the global sports, leaving legacies of urban renewal, economic development, and community engagement. These events also showed Gwangju's ability to host large-scale international events efficiently, creating long-term value. So by leveraging event legacies like infrastructure improvements from the Universiade and FINA Championships, Gwangju enhanced its connectivity, promoted sustainable tourism, and attracted future events. So with the 2025 World Archery Championships on the horizon, Gwangju continues to this strategy of sustainable growth as a global sports hub. So in 2015, Universiade was Gwangju's first major step onto the global sports stage, hosting over 12,000 athletes from 143 countries across 21 sports. This number is just a mentioning of the athletes. And it highlighted Gwangju's ability to organize large-scale events with a focus on cost efficiency, sustainability, and innovation under EPIC, Eco, Peace, IT, Culture Framework. And smart negotiations with international federations and partners allowed Gwangju to save over 200 billion Korean won by minimizing new constructions and prioritizing upgrades to existing venues. And of the 69 venues that was needed, only 4 were newly built. And the rest were enhanced facilities across Gwangju and Jeolla province. And using the local university grounds for the new venue construction, it has helped to reduce the land acquisition cost by several billion Korean won as well. Building on the University 8's success, Gwangju hosted the 18th FINA World Championships and World Masters Championships in 2019, welcoming the largest number of athletes from 191 countries at the time. And this event reinforced Gwangju's reputation for sustainability and cost efficiency. Key facilities like the Nambu University Aquatic Center was reused, and temporary facilities were strategically placed on the same compound for accessibility and efficiency. And with the slogan, Dive into Peace, the event promoted Gwangju's value of democracy and human rights and peace. And that really solidified its brand as a sustainable destination for international sports and MICE activities. The benefits of hosting these events extended beyond sports. So infrastructure projects like the KTX rail line reduced travel time between Gwangju and Seoul by 90 minutes, significantly improving the city's accessibility and connectivity. And of the 69 venues, only 4 were newly constructed, as I mentioned before, focusing on the future use. So facilities like the Aquatic Center and the International Archery Center was used and will be used for future events hosted in Gwangju. And the gymnasium was repurposed for community events and concerts. And the Kia Championships field, built for Gwangju's pro baseball team, became a major attraction and boosting of tourism, and they're winning right now, and we're having the most tourists coming into the city at this point. And another innovative approach of refurbishing 30-year-old apartment complex into the Athletes Village, which was later returned to the community as housing. This model was repeated for the FINA World Championships as well, which exemplifies urban regeneration and community integration. As for Gwangju's low-cost, high-efficiency approach led to significant economic benefits. And the university saved over 200 billion Korean won, I mentioned, through infrastructure reuse and creative solutions, such as reusing podiums and a couple of the structures from the Incheon Asian Games, and presenting mascots instead of using disposable bouquets of flowers during the award ceremonies. And as for FINA Championships, continues its success, marked by 99% ticket sellout rate and almost 8,000 hours of broadcasting, reaching over 1 billion viewers worldwide. And additionally, the event saved 30% of its venue budget and 15 million Korean won by reusing the logistics from Pyeongchang Olympics. And these strategies really fostered a sport tourism city kind of an environment, encouraging the visitors to explore the city and driving the local tourist. The real success of these events was in utilizing community, creating a legacy of pride, volunteerism, and engagement. And over 61,000 volunteers supported the University and FINA World Championships, including 25,000 students from the University Foreign Language School, partnered up with 10 universities. So this program started in 2009 when we got the bid, offered an English language course to teenagers as future volunteers, because by the time the University Aid was going to happen, they're going to be university students. And it later expanded up to 5 languages to all ages in the community over 6 years. And over the 80% of those students became volunteers, and this really fostered community pride, and this there was a comprehensive training as well for the recruited volunteers, which taught them about international relations, safety, and the skills to further enhance their region's, their practical skills to be applied at the Games. And I think this really further enhanced region's soft power, providing sport events can leave behind valuable educational assets. So Gwangju's focus on human capital has been a cornerstone of its legacy. In partnership with international organizations and universities, nurtured a skilled workforce in event management, logistics, sport administration, etc. And I wanted to mention there were staff, we had a good opportunity to be part of the secondment program for the Asian Games, which allowed the university staff to kind of get that practical intelligence and the knowledge to apply at the Universiad when it happened. And this collaboration expanded Gwangju's global network, strengthening its position for future host and bids. And personally, these experiences have shaped my career. And it's an honor to be representing Gwangju's growing legacy, per se, to be in front of all you guys and helping to bring knowledge and skills back to the city. So looking ahead at 2025, Gwangju is preparing to host the World Archery and Para Archery Championships next fall. And it's really focusing on inclusivity and accessibility. So by reusing and upgrading existing facilities, Gwangju will again showcase its commitment to sustainability and engaging community overall. And from the 2015 University to upcoming 2025 World Archery Championships, I think Gwangju's journey highlights sustainable event planning. Despite of challenges that still has to, overcome, Gwangju remains very committed to innovation, sustainability, and community engagement. And in summary, I would just like to say that Gwangju's story pretty much demonstrates strategic planning and cost efficiency, how minimizing new constructions and maximizing existing infrastructure creates economic and environmental benefits. Two, building sustainable legacies. So importance of urban regeneration, infrastructure, community engagement and initiatives are really great, but also it continues to host future events. And last, community engagement and skill development, how fostering local talent and volunteerism strengthens global network and prepares for the future opportunities. And these efforts solidify Gwangju's role as global MICE city, proving the events, even a mid-sized city can compete globally and leave a lasting legacy. So, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Every speaker in our session is mostly very punctual. You are the only one over 10 seconds of her time. Since I know Jia for some time, we are working in the sporting field in Korea together. So I know how she loves her hometown, Gwangju. But now through this presentation, I understand more how actually Gwangju has been utilized the mega sport event to development of the city as well. So we look forward to further development of the Gwangju cities, okay? The last but not least, the presenters of the session is Kupa Supasam from the Sports Authority of Thailand. She's a Director of International Cooperation Division. Her presentation is about the future event bidding, Thailand's strategy and guidelines for success. Please welcome her with a big round of applause.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First of all, I would like to extend my sincerest appreciation to our gracious host, the KSPO, for this outstanding organization of the forum. And thank you, Professor Cho, for the introduction. I am Kufa Sukasem. My current position is Director of International Cooperation Coordination Division at the Sports Authority of Thailand. I would also like to thank for giving me the opportunity to represent my organization. Today, I'm delighted to present to all of you Thailand's strategy and guidelines for successful future event bidding. Before I start, I have to apologize that my presentation may not relate much to the topic of the forum and the session 4. However, I will try to make connection between them. When I was invited, I was not sure what I should talk about because Thailand has never hosted any Olympic Games. Anyway, the organizer encouraged me to share the information about Thailand's experience or future plan about the Olympic Games. So I'm here to share with you what we are going to do. And I would like to say that the great success of the Republic of Korea as former host of the 1988 Summer Olympics and the 2018 Winter Olympics serves as an encouragement for Thailand to get involved in the bidding process. All right, hosting the Games of the Olympiad is the most common dream of every country. And Thailand also dreams of becoming the host of any future games. For this reason, the Ministry of Tourism and Sports has assigned Sports Authority of Thailand, or SAT for short, to be a responsible unit working closely with the National Olympic Committee of Thailand to write up the strategy. Although Thailand has vast experience in hosting 4 Asian Games in 1966, 1970, 1978, and 1998, we have never entered any bidding process seriously. We bid for the first time to host the first Youth Olympic Games 2010, and the winner was Singapore. So at this initial stage, we are like a toddler. The management team, led by the SAT governor, has brainstormed ideas and steered the direction of work, what we are going to do to get close or win the hosting rights. And thanks to the International Olympic Committee for its new strategic roadmap, Olympic Agenda 2020+5, and its new philosophy that invited interested countries to present their projects that best fit their local needs and context. So it is a good opportunity for small nations with less budget like Thailand to announce their interest to host the event. We entered the dialogue phase with the Future Host Commission for the Games of the Olympiad in 2020, starting an informal exchange and introducing ourselves as an interested party for future games, any not specific. Maybe the Olympic Games or the Youth Olympic Games. And now we are trying to keep in touch and communicate closely with from time to time with the Commission to maintain a continuous dialogue to show our strong intention. Well, our project will be planned and delivered in accordance with the Olympic Agenda 2020+5 and the new Olympic host selection process, which is designed to fit the needs of all potential hosts. At this time, we focus on cost reduction and sustainability of the Games. With the concept of less investment in mind, we will use existing sports venues, not build new ones, so we have to choose the perfect host city. The city of Bangkok, Thailand's capital, has been proposed as main host city due to its pivotal roles in every aspect of national development. What's more, we have chosen Chonburi, which is Bangkok's nearest seaside city, as co-host for the Games. The city has also been designated by the Royal Thai government as a specific economic zone in the Eastern Economic Corridor, or EEC for short, which is a pilot project for the economic development of Thailand's eastern seaboard. In the slide, you will see that the EEC covers the area of 3 provinces in eastern Thailand, including Cha Cheong Sao, Chonburi, and Rayong, totaling 13,000 square kilometers. In the future, maybe 2028, when the EEC is finished, it will look like in this picture, with various project categories ranging from commercial, construction, convention hall, data center, restaurants, to sports complex and entertainment centers. The project will be equipped with comprehensive infrastructure and complete transportation and logistics, high-speed rails linking 3 major international airports, Dongmyeong Airport, Suvarnabhumi Airport, and Utapao Airport, an intercity motorway and double-track railway passing through significant industrial areas and logistic centers. So Bangkok and Chonburi are the perfect choices. Both cities have complete sports infrastructure and facilities of world-class standards ready for use without the need for the new constructions. Ladies and gentlemen, we see the Games as a catalyst for not only sporting excellence, but also environmental awareness. As we are alert to the world's agenda on climate change, which requires urgent action from everyone, in the bidding proposal, Thailand emphasizes long-term sustainability goals that align with the IOC sustainability strategy for a green future in global sports events. And in order to make it happen, we promise to organize the eco-friendly games with the implementation of the Bio-Circular Green or BCG model introduced by the Royal Thai government as a strategy to create sustainability and inclusiveness to the world sports society and the environment. Besides focusing on the environment issue, we also show our full commitment to promoting the Olympic idea by a series of activities. The National Olympic Committee of Thailand is in charge of celebrating the Olympic Day every year. The Olympic Day Run is the core activity, with many other special events being held on the sidelines, including the Olympic Values Education Program. And this year, 2024, the NOC of Thailand celebrated the Olympic Day from the 15th to the 16th of June at Benjakiti Park in Bangkok under a slogan, Together for a Better World, to promote people-to-people ties through the Olympic Games. In this slide, I show you some pictures of the Olympic Day Run Activity 2024, Road to Paris, co-hosted by the NOC of Thailand and the French Embassy in Thailand. The event was held to raise awareness of Thai people about the Olympic Games 2024 in Paris, France. Well, another issue that cannot be missed is the community inclusion. This is because the core of the game success is the people in the community. In the past, we didn't pay much attention on impactful ways to persuade the local community to get more involved in the games since the beginning. The local residents usually learn about the organization of the games from the news on television, the radio, or on the internet, not directly from the local organizing committee. And during the 13th Asian Games 1998 in Bangkok, the government and the local organizing committee focused on the construction of gigantic stadiums and arenas to support the organization of the Games. Rachamankala National Stadium, Thammasat Stadium, and Impact Muang Thong Thani were introduced as the main competition venues, and at present, they are still in use for sports and music and live events. In addition to the stadiums, the Asian Games Athletes Village was also constructed to accommodate the athletes from all over Asia. The construction site is at Thammasat University, Rangsit campus in Pathum Thani, a neighboring province of Bangkok. There are 23 buildings totaling 4,900 rooms on the area of approximately 40 acres, and after the Games, these buildings are being used as university dormitory and community accommodation. I have to say that even these legacies from the past event were initiated by the government, not the local communities. They still have positive impact at both national and local levels in terms of revenue generation for the country and quality of life development. However, for the future games, we have pledged that the local communities will be prioritized for their best benefits. By the way, let's get back to the current strategy of Team Thailand to bid for the hosting right of the future games. As we all know, getting local residents involved is not as easy as it sounds. Even though the games will benefit the community in the long term, so we have decided to do an intense listening tour as our first step to reach out to the community. And this is the way to offer opportunities for them to participate and create shared visions and goals. When our plan and operation suit the local needs and circumstances, the local engagement and involvement will increase naturally. Distinguished guests, the loyal Thai government has vowed to provide full support to the bidding process, and by adopting the principles of good governance, the bid board of directors is committed to working with transparency, accountability, and inclusivity to propose an innovation that will leave a mark in the history of the Olympics and deliver the games that align with the Olympic Agenda 2020+5, especially in terms of equality, parity, inclusivity, and diversity in every aspect. In conclusion, Team Thailand is looking forward to working closely with our Olympic family to disseminate the Olympic spirit and leverage sport as a key pillar for a healthy, harmonious, and a peaceful world. To leave the Olympics a legacy beyond sporting excellence, just like what Mr. Lee, head of Seoul Olympic Games 1988 Volunteer Department said yesterday, why don't we pay more attention to invisible legacy? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing the case of Thailand, and we can actually see the bright future of the event hosting in Thailand. Okay. Every presenters are very punctual, so we do have 20 minutes of Q&A session. And I think, and I know that many of our government officers who is working in the sports field wanted to share about their cases as well. So we can do the comments, and you can talk about your cases briefly, and you can also make a question to the speakers. Okay, so whoever has the questions or comments, please raise your hands. Then microphone, we're gonna go for you. Okay, try not to waste any time. I have a question. Oh, you don't want to comments first?
No, it's just sharing my thoughts about the upcoming 2025. Okay. If I may.
Yes. I would like to ask you.
While we're waiting for the question. Hi, everyone. I'm Halina from the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Secretariat. I'm excited, as well as the 21 member economies for Korea will be hosting another event, well, say a major event, which is the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation in 2025. So all eyes will be in Korea. And again, thank you, Korea, for hosting a big event. And I know that in public, in the media, Korea have preparing all out in making 2025 a success. So hopefully we can continue with the discussion with the theme that we've co-shared, equality, inclusivity, a very important theme that we are also expecting Korea to build the momentum in 2025.
Thank you for mentioning that. We do have really hard work for the preparation of the event, and it's to be great that the sports field can participate with many themes that can be shared, right? So thank you for sharing that. Any questions at the moment or the comments? If it's not, I would like to ask the Gia, which is I have been waiting for a long time I wanted to ask you, but I want to ask you in public, because as she mentioned, she's like a sort of the human legacy, right? A human legacy of the Seoul Olympics and afterwards. So I would like to ask you, but you are quite successful now as entrepreneurs in a sporting event field. So for the youngsters who want to get into this field, what was your biggest difficulties and how you actually overcome that? I mean, on the way to overcoming that, and what kind of help or needs or support you need? May I ask?
Yes. So, just to give a little bit of background, my degree during the university has nothing to do with sports. My first career change happened because I've joined the organizing committee for the university that was happening in my hometown. And I didn't even know it was happening in my hometown at the time, but because I was very interested in public policy and public health, which I was going to go to graduate school for, and I had only 6 months in between to kind of chill and find some jobs to maybe help me pay for that graduation school. But anyway, the experience that I had at the university, what was amazing was that I was able to meet at a young age so many diverse people from different backgrounds coming together to deliver a successful sporting event. There's one goal, and you cannot meet, it doesn't matter if you're working for the organizing committee or you're volunteering or which part you're part of the whole event, but having that once in a lifetime experience really kind of questions you and build that qualities where you can use it in sport industry or even outside of sport industry. So after my background, since then I realized that everything that has to do with sports and all the education that we need is happening in the capital. So one of the challenge was, it was very difficult for me to get that information because at the time it wasn't very, internet savvy or this 5G is happening, like this with YouTube and things like this. So we have to ask the people that we meet or we know and approach them, introduce yourself, and find that information and have to travel up to Seoul. So that was one of the challenges because I have to spend money and invest to go up and listen, but then that doesn't even guarantee you that you'll be getting that spot or any of that experience afterward. But then I think importantly right now is all about for organizations and governments or any organizing committees to give a platform to make sure these people have time to connect and to engage and to network. And I think that really helped me to overcome that challenge. It's very difficult, especially when you're approaching someone, you could be only volunteer, you could be temporary staff, or just kind of being there because you're a sport enthusiast. But having that the courage to walk up and ask for help and the assistance, I think that is one of the key ways to be involved and continuously be involved and to get people to support you, to help you in the continuous journey that you want to take in this industry. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for your enthusiastic answers. And I think that might be helpful for many students and youngsters who want to get into this field. Okay, any questions, comment? You are here for all the morning to make this question and comment. This is a time that you can share your cases. I know many officers are here from abroad, so you definitely have some impact and legacy of your sporting event. Okay, the ladies from the Philippines. Philippines, yeah.
Hello, I'm CJ from the Philippines, and I'm glad that someone from the Southeast Asia was able to share in this forum. So I was thinking, this is not a question, or maybe you can also have your comments, but again, I appreciate the presence of a Southeast Asian nation, because I was thinking of the regional event in Southeast Asia, the Southeast Asian Games. So I was thinking like, maybe we can also have this kind of forum during at least a one-day event during the Southeast Asian Games. And we just can share about, best practices that we had, because it's been like how many years that we've been doing the Southeast Asian Games, but we don't really share what has been done correctly, what could be improved by the other nations when they host. We also don't become intentional on the way we think about the legacies of the Southeast Asian Games. Like not only in our own countries when we host the event, but also within our region. I think we can learn from sharing our experiences. So hopefully we can have that in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Joey. I think that's just like what we want. Yeah. Okay. And yes, Harris, you can add a comment.
Well, that's a brilliant observation, Ms. CG, from the Philippines. I'd just like to write on Ms. CG's observation as well as Ms. Choi's experience. Early this year, at the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, I must say that the capacity building initiatives are one of the DNA of APAC. So earlier this year, I had the opportunity to be invited to a project event in one of the economy that's called the APAC Sports Policy Network. So aside from talking about policy sharing, best practices, but also they provided a very good, strong platform for youth to join in the business incubators. And they also encourage the youth to come up with a number of innovative products and services in sports. So, another recent project event is promoting women and youth in entrepreneurship. So, at the bottom line that we have those platforms available, but it's also a question for those information to be shared to ensure that the information reach the target groups, especially the youth. Thank you.
Thank you, Harina. Oh, that's great to hear that that is one of the DNA of the APEC, the capacity building. Okay, questions, comment? Who? At the back? Oh, right, there. Oh, yeah, great.
Hello, I am Lears Feisla. I'm from Kosovo, DTM student. Thank you for your presentations. My question is specifically for the Gangwon Games. I was impressed by the raised numbers of the tourists and the spendings as well. But I'm interested to know about your projections about what is going to be the numbers or what you expect about tourists coming back to Gangwon, because that is kind of the thing when it comes to legacy about ski resorts, if the tourists are going to come back and spend more in the area. So have you run any study about their satisfaction, or what are your projections in this? Thank you.
Thank you for your idea. Actually, as I mentioned in my presentation, 2018 we built like KTX, which is bullet train. So it makes like Seoul to Gangwon 1.5 hours. So, but before that, it took like 4 hours by bus. So Gangneung city, it wasn't a tourist city before like 2018, but after Pyeongchang Winter Olympic, it became really, really popular among Korean as well as foreigner. But if the city is popular among Korea, it became popular to foreigner as well. And then a lot of people visit for 2024 Youth Olympic as well. So we didn't research the satisfaction because there were like 16,000 like people coming to our Korean pavilions. I couldn't do it, but I was sure that they were really happy, and they were able to see the Korea through this big event. So hopefully they will come back later, even though there is no sports event in Korea. And then, yeah, that's it. Thank you for asking. Yeah.
Okay, if may I add a bit? Because probably we didn't do the total number for the survey of their satisfaction, but we do have every kind of policy project, have each of them have a satisfaction. So
maybe Olympic Committee
yeah,
might
yeah,
do
we'll
a
have that
survey.
yeah, so it's all segment. Probably the positive reaction is quite growing up, and then it actually shows and reflect to the numbers of visiting keep growing up. So that's what we can probably project, for the future of the visitors of Gangwon province. And to be honest, it's not 4 hours before. It was like 6 hours. I know that. And I was very suffered by the car seat when I going there. And it's just 1.5 hours. That's amazing. So we can visit, every month to Gangwon. So that's a little bit of big changes. And any other questions and comment? Yes, you can ask. Yeah. Okay, he can do the first.
Good morning, everyone. Mine is Tuto from Botswana. I just wanted to appreciate your setup here in Korea, where you have the Ministry of Tourism and Sport in the same. And of course, usually, similarly with that of Thailand, I think Botswana has a unique structure. We have a separate ministry for sport and that of tourism. I think it was particularly motivated by the landscape where we have many of, or rather the large chunk of our land being covered by wildlife or reserved for tourism. Let me also take this opportunity to invite you to Botswana so you can appreciate that. But I just wanted to ask, how would you suggest because then in terms of hosting, whenever we host the regional or continental games, we kind of like struggle to measure the returns on investment in terms of what the impact of sport or hosting such events, because the bulk of it would then be, celebrated by our tourism ministry or sector, which is separate from our ministry. So how would you suggest we move on with having sport actually benefit from such legacies and, of course, the contribution to the economy? And then the last question, in terms of the Ministry of Tourism and Sport, and you spoke about Gwangju. I was in Gwangju in 2019, actually, for the World Championships. What is the process in terms of single sport competitions? From the national federation to the ministry, is there a process in terms of requesting for permission to host, or as a federation, does the federation just bid to host and that's it? Is there anywhere where government, grants or declines for such permissions? Thank you.
Okay, you want to answer? Do you want to answer? Yeah.
So to answer your last question, for any cities or province to host an international sporting event, it doesn't matter if it's a single sport or multi-sport, we have to go through a procedure nationally, local level, and governmental level. So this is why all the budgets usually comes from, when it's granted, it's a mix of government funds and local funds. Local city funds. So yes, we have to go through the procedure, but there could be times where it could be declined. So this is why we do a lot of feasibility test and research before to see if this city or province are able to host that specific sporting event. It doesn't matter if it's small or large. Thanks.
I'm working at a Korea tourism organization, but we're not like a research government organization. So whenever we have a big sports event, we promote together for making more foreign visitor, but we don't do economic research for those kind of events because we are under a Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism. So there is a sports part. So my company is not from sports part. So we leave it up to different organization to do the research.
If may I add of it, because the original things actually comes from the national federations. They need to discuss with the international federation whether they have suitable competition that can be hosted to their nations or the region. And from their initiative, the local government can discuss about whether we can host this game or not. And they do kind of the research, feasibility, whether this will be beneficial and have the legacy or impact to us positively. Then they can discuss about this with the main government. That's why we have in Korean as a procedure. It takes long and lots of persuasion and lots of stakeholders get involved. But once it made as a system, that goes really fast, and they know what they have to do. And regional-wise, their human resources can be developed. So the government officers and also the private sectors, they can work all together for this event. So they are the kind of the living legacy, and probably KTO is engaged in this procedure because many of the things what we can't really solve by ourselves in the sporting field. So we have to ask the tourism department what you can help to us. So it's like a ministry-wise, ministry and government department-wise, they do need to communicate. And here still, the workforce is a human resources, isn't it? So the one who work in this field, whether they have huge motivation to make these things together, as I think is kind of the key things. All right, you want to add more?
One more thing is, Korea Tourism Organization, we don't do a specific sports event research, but we presented before, we have a big data driven system, so everybody, including Korean foreigner, can easily go to our site and analyze the impact. For example, visitor, foreigner car spending, those kind of things. So I think if you want more, if you want to know more, I think you can visit those kind of our website. Okay, thank you.
Just to add one thing, I think if you are interested in who approaches first, I think it could go both ways. So the international federations could be looking for certain cities that they would like to host and approach, and then the local organizations or the city speaks with the national federations to kind of see if they want to proceed with that, or they could approach the national federations and then come to the specific cities that they think would have the potential to be involved.
Okay. Thank you for all the questions and comments and great answers. Unfortunately, it's time's up, so we have to wrap up this session. Thank you very much for your participation. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much once again to all of our speakers for their enlightening speeches. So thank you very much. That was very informative. And also, I'd like to thank you to our Dr. Jo for the fantastic. Yes, you proceed back your seat. Thank you very much for leading us through this informative session. So your active participation and thoughtful questions make the session even more enriching. We look forward to continuing these important discussions. So now we'll take a break before our next session begins. Coffees and refreshments are available in the lobby. So feel free to enjoy a quick break and take this time to network. So please return to your seat by 11 a.m. Our next session will start at 11 a.m. It would be appreciated if you come back to this hall 5 minutes earlier. And as we will reconvene promptly at soon. So thank you very much, and don't forget to our Instagram event for our forum. So please participate and share your experience by following our Instagram. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon. Thank you. Okay, so welcome back everyone. I hope you had a refreshing break. So we'll now begin session 5, the final session of this forum. Session 5 will be led by Emeritus Professor Jean-Louis Chaplet, and this session is centered around the theme of Olympic achievements and the spread of Olympic. So we have remarkable speakers who will be sharing their valuable insights. I'm sure this session will provide thought-provoking perspective on how Olympism countries continues to influence global sports and communities. So, as you can see, our distinguished chair and speakers now seated on stage. Please welcome them with a big round of applause. Chair, please.
Well, thank you very much for this introduction. It's a great pleasure. Welcome to you all, first of all. Good morning for those coming after the night. Time difference is difficult for us, for example, coming from Europe. So welcome, and really it's a great honor to moderate this debate. We have about the intercity collaboration for hosting mega events, which is a trend really nowadays. Many cities are not doing it alone. They are doing it with other cities and other regions, even countries. For example, Paris did it with recently with many other cities around France, even in Tahiti, quite far away in the Pacific Ocean. It's a French territory. And also Switzerland, the country, is considering a bid for 2038. So this is a trend that we are going to discover in this panel. We have representatives from Chungcheong City, from Aichi, Nagoya in Japan, Chungcheong being in Korea, of course, Jakarta, Palembang in Indonesia, and Astana, Almaty in Kazakhstan. So without further ado, I'm going to give the floor to Mr. Kim, who is representing Chungcheong 27 Universiad, or World University Games, I should say. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, my name is Siwan Kim. I'm from 2027 Chungcheong FIS World University Games, and I'm in charge of General and Planning Division. And first of all, I'm very honored to be here and give a presentation from a very decent sports specialist from all over the world. And if you don't mind, please let me give a speech in Korean because we have a very good interpreter. Yes, let me begin. Okay. 안녕하십니까? 저는
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Kim Si-won, Director of Planning and General Affairs for 2027 Chungcheong FIS World University Games. So I'm going to focus on these games and to share with you our success strategies. First of all, let me introduce you 2027 FIS World University Games. In Korea, in 1997, we held the Muju Jeonju Winter Games, in 2003, the Daegu Summer Games, and 2015, Gwangju Summer Games. So this game is the fourth FIS Games being held in Korea. One of the biggest characteristics of this game is that the 4 cities in the Chungcheong region have collaborated for the bid, and they are collaborating to hold this game. So this attests to the fact that the intercity cooperation is crucial for the success of the games. This is the overview of the 2027 FIS Games. It will be held from August 1st to 12th in 2027, gathering 150 countries. Athletes, officials, and media officials will come to Chungcheong, and we expect there will be about 15,000 participants in total. There will be 18 sports involved. So there are compulsory sports, 15 compulsory sports in athletics, archery, and swimming, and 3 optional sports like golf, rowing, and beach volleyball. This is the official logo of the games. We used 4 symbolic colors of the 4 cities in the Chungcheong region, and we used the general U shape of Universiade, and we applied dynamic curve of the sports and a wing symbolizing hope. Now this is the overview of the venues. A total of 23 venues will hold competitions. The opening ceremony will be at the Daejeon World Cup Stadium and closing ceremony at Sejong Cultural Park. Furthermore, the athletes and officials from all around the world will come to the region through Incheon International Airport and Cheongju International Airport. Now, I would like to share with you the overview of the athletes' village. The main village will be in Sejong, and the second village will be set up at Poryong, where there will be beach volleyball competition. Now, the overview of the hotel. The Fisu Hotel will be Onoma Hotel in Daejeon. And the candidate has facilities including Daejeon Lotte Hotel will be determined in consultation with Fisu. Next is about the preparedness as well as the FISU organizing a committee. The organizing committee was launched in 2023 last year, and July this year we expanded the organizing committee. So as of today, there are 189 staff from 3 bureaus collaborating, and we are fully committed to prepare and be ready for the games. Next is the success strategy for the bidding. The slide is in Korean, so I would like to apologize for that. So first success strategy is that 4 cities got together to collaborate and create synergy effect. Second, the local residents of the Chungcheong region signed about 1 million signatures, and there was a strong commitment from the local residents. And third is that we also benefited from the Seoul Olympic Legacy Forum. So this is to say that the Seoul Legacy Forum has given us the confidence, and we have held many important games in 1998, 1988 the Olympics, 2002 World Cup, 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. All of these games have been very useful in hosting the 2027 FISU World University Games. And last but not least, we were very committed to actively communicate with FISU, and we were very active in convincing FISU Executive Committee about the strength of our region. So now I would like to talk about why the 4 cities got together to host the FISU Games. As you may well know, in today's world, many cities have to collaborate with one another to promote development in economy, society, culture, and transportation. Co-hosting will allow for efficient management of the budget and can provide a better cities for all of the citizens. So the Chungcheong region, through FISU Games, will collaborate further to become a mega city region. So this is to say that FISU Games' success will serve as the catalyst for the Chungcheong megacity.
This is my last slide. Yeah, almost done. 27년 충청 조직위는
2027 Chungcheong Megacity Organizing Committee will do its best to make these games as significant games. Leveraging our passion and expertise, we will collaborate further and engage more locals community so that we can bring the games to a successful end. And from November 4th, in the city of Sejong, we will hold a D-1000 event. We will unveil our mascot and appoint games ambassadors. So we look forward to your continuous support and interest in the FISU Games that will be held in the Chungcheong megacity. This wraps up my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Well, and anyone who have comments or any questions?
Well, questions come at the end, but thank you very much for your presentation. We wish you good luck. You still have 3 years to go, but it looks like it's going to be very interesting World University Games, and I hope I can attend maybe. Thanks a lot. Please take your seat back.
Thank you.
And now we are moving to Japan, and the city of Aichi and Nagoya collaborating to host games also, as we will hear. So please take the floor, and we are going to listen to you, of course. I have a whole description of what you've done. You've done a lot of sport also. You like marathon in particular. But I cannot read all this. This is too long. But please, go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Manami Okumura from Ainagoku in Aichi, Nagoya, Japan. Thank you very much for giving me such a nice opportunity today. We, Ainagoku, is preparing for Asian Games in Aichi, Nagoya in 2026 in collaboration with other cities and other prefectures now. So I'm going to share our experience today. So first, let me introduce the outline of the 20th Asian Games in Aichi, Nagoya 2026. So first of all, do you know Aichi, Nagoya? Have you heard of the name and do you know the location? Do you know? I think everyone knows Tokyo and Kyoto, Osaka, but don't know Aichi, Nagoya, right? Aichi, Nagoya is located between Tokyo and Kyoto, Osaka, and located middle of Japan. So it's easy to go anywhere around Japan. So it's good location for travel, but everyone don't know that location. So, but anyway, do you know Toyota? Toyota motor car? Toyota is located also within Aichi Prefecture. So I hope you remember the name of Aichi, Nagoya today. Okay, then next, let me introduce the status of Asian Games in Japan. So far, 2 times Asian Games were held in Japan. The first one was the 3rd Asian Games in 1958 in Tokyo, and the next one were the 12th Asian Games in 1994 in Hiroshima Prefecture. And the next one are the 20th Asian Games in 2026 Aichi and Nagoya. Is the first time in 32 years to host Asian Games in Japan. And this table shows the background to host the Asian Games in Aichi, Nagoya. In May 2016, Aichi Prefecture Government and Nagoya City Hall announced joint candidacy for hosting the Asian Games after approval by JOC. And then OCA General Assembly decided them as host city. And then in August 2018, signed a host city contract. And then September in 2018, cabinet approval on government cooperation. And then in May 2019, organizing committee, Ainagoku, established. And this is the outline of Asian Games, our games, in 2026. The games period is from September 19th, 2026 to October 4th, 2026. It's 16 days. And the number of sports is 41. And the number of participants are up to 15 people. And the main venue is Nagoya City Mizuho Park Athletic Stadium. And it is for opening ceremony, closing ceremony, and athletics. And this is the 5 concepts of our games. 1. Athlete-centered. 2. Using existing facilities. 3. Making full use of state-of-art technology. And 4. Offer hospitality with traditions through interaction with students. And 5. Contribute to promotion of sports culture. And out of these 5 concepts, our most priority is using existing facilities. To achieve sustainable game management, we are strongly promoting to use existing facilities. We construct only 2 new venues, and other venues and accommodations also will be existing facilities. And next is sports. The number of sports held in the 20th Asian Games is 41. And there are 4 categories of 2024 Paris Olympic sports and sports in 5 Asian regions and INAGOG proposal and OCA proposal. For example, sports in 5 Asian regions is Wushu from East Asia, Sepak-takraw from Southeast Asia, Jujutsu from West Asia, and Kabaddi from South Asia, and Clash Central Asia, like that. And then INAGOG proposal, baseball, softball, and karate. And as for OCA proposal, squash and esports. And next is cooperation and collaboration. This is today's theme. We are promoting intercity collaboration in 4 fields. First, cooperation on organization. Second, cooperation on venue. Third, collaboration on PR activities. And fourth, collaboration on human resources. And the first one, cooperation on organization. As for Asian Games in Aichi, Nagoya in 2026, the host city is not one local government, but 2 local governments jointly take the role. So both host cities of Aichi Prefecture Government and Nagoya City Hall have organized a framework to support INAGOG, and it is called the Asian Games Aichi Nagoya Joint Preparatory Group. In this group, the staff from Aichi Prefecture Government and Nagoya City Hall work together and working on city dressing or service for audience during the game. And also, in addition, there are 54 cities, towns, and villages within Aichi Prefecture. So Aichi Prefecture government launched a liaison conference with them and have a meeting constantly and share information about the game. And second, cooperation on venue. Our policy is to use existing facilities. So in case that we don't have appropriate venue for the game, we asked other prefecture to use their existing facilities. So as of now, we will use 10 existing facilities in 6 prefectures out of Aichi Prefecture. Tokyo, Shizuoka, Gifu, Hyogo, Kyoto, Osaka. These 6 prefectures.
Okay, we are running out of time.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I'll hurry. And okay. And also, there are existing facilities in 20 cities around the Aichi Prefecture, so the venue is around the prefecture. I'll skip the. Sorry. And okay. And the next item. Third, collaboration on PR activities. In Japan, each local government has their own PR magazine. For example, The left one is PR magazine of Nagoya City. And this is a kind of a book with 20 pages and distributed to every houses in Nagoya City. And also, the right one is PR magazine of Aichi Prefecture government. And this is published on newspaper every month. So like this every municipality has their own PR magazine. So utilize their magazine and exchange information effectively. And also post collaboration on human resources. From the local government, which has a venue, the staff is dispatched to Ainagok. So through these staff dispatched from the local government, which has a venue, we can ensure smooth coordination with the local government, other local government. Okay, that's all. It is 2 years to go for the opening of our game, so we will accelerate our games preparation and looking forward to seeing you in Aichi Nagoya 2026.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. You have a really big task because not many people realize, but the Asian Games are bigger than the Olympics in terms of number of sports. And you showed us that there are many sports, Asian sports in particular, are in the Asian Games and are not in the Olympics. So the Olympics are smaller, not in terms of country, but in terms of sport. And it's, of course, good to spread this event on a whole region, Aichi region. I think Aichi might not so well be well known in Korea, but Nagoya should be, because Nagoya was bidding against Seoul for 1998 Olympics, and Seoul won in the end. But anyhow, good luck with your organization in 2 years' time. And now we are moving to the next speaker from Indonesia. It's a very complicated name. If I may say, Dr. Tubagus, please take the floor.
Good morning, everyone. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for having us here to present the success strategy for hosting 18 Asian Games, Jakarta Palembang in 2018. So my presentation would be the overview of Asian Games, planning and management stage, key takeaways, and legacy. The background of co-hosting. So Jakarta is the main city, the host city, and Palembang is going to be the co-host city. The reason Palembang was chosen as co-host the 18 Asian Games with Jakarta because of its facility, sport venues, international airport with direct flight from some major Asian countries, and proper accommodation for the delegates and guests. The shared vision of the Asian Games is to create passion and transformation of our people by hosting and promoting our hospitality and culture as an inspiration to the present and legacy for the futures. And the mission is also to celebrate each moment with our unique creativity, component of partnership and achievement, transform the present to the futures that will reflect creative force that fuels our desires and aspiration for our nation. Also going beyond our limits, overcoming challenges with pride, motivation, and energy. Jakarta and Palembang Asian Games is driven by young and positive energy that will create a contagious invitation to engage and participate to the whole nation. And the goals of the Asian Games is to prove the capability of Indonesia in becoming the host of sporting multi-event, also to make sport as the way of life for Indonesian people, and also to lead the development of growth of sport facility and infrastructures. And the last is to create a legacy for the next generation. So we can see Asian Games in numbers, participating by 45 NOCs or countries, more than 17,000 athletes and officials. Also, we have 40 sports and 30,000 volunteers and workforces. And at the end, we have 4 billion viewers across the world. So this is the venue cluster in Jakarta. We have 3 different clusters in Jakarta. The first one is in the GBK Senayan. For those who see the Asian Games, maybe we know that the main stadium complex is in Senayan. And the second one is in the Jakarta, still in Jakarta. And the third one is in the suburb of Jakarta, which takes about 1 to 2 hours drive from Jakarta. And the last one is the cluster in Palembang, which competing 11 sports. So the second most important thing also for the preparation of having Asian Games is to plan and management stages. The phase 1 consists of planning and structures. And the second phase is going to be venue analysis. And the third one is about concept and budget. This is also very important to see the concept and the budgets. And phase 4 is going to be the master plan. As we know that if we fail to plan, we plan to fail. So the master plan is very important. And the last phase is going to be the operational readiness and test event. So the other important things having the Asian Games in 2 different locations is to have one single organization structure. In the beginning, we have 2 different organization structures. Jakarta, we have our own organization sectors, and Palembang, also they have another one. It is difficult to coordinate between Jakarta and Palembang. So 4 years before the event, we changed into one single organization structure. So before the games, we have about 7 or 8 coordination committee meetings with OCA for the preparations. And also this is the timeline. Starting in 2014, after the Asian Games in Incheon, we have master plan phase, operational planning phase, operational readiness, test event, and also this solution after the games. The other one is the legacy and key takeaways. Of course, the great people have to be there, and also the operation excellence, great hospitality, great experience, and also the brand image of Asian Games. So the tangible legacy in Jakarta and Palembang, of course, we have a new renovation for the airport, venue, public transportation, and also in Palembang. So in 1962, we have the first Asian Games hosting in Indonesia, in 1964. 1962 is the 4th Asian Games. And then what we want to be known, we have a lot of tangible legacy, like the TV station, the first TV station in Indonesia, and the main stadium in Jakarta. And what do you want to have in the 18th Asian Games? We won't have the best airport, we won't have the best public transportation, we won't have best venue, we won't have best athlete village or best stadiums. But what we can have for the 18 Asian Games? We can have best hospitality services, best food for athlete, media, and OCA family, best festival, best opening and closing ceremony, unique creative promotion, best media center, and the best tourism spot. So at the end, the legacy is the nation pride. of Indonesia by hosting Asian Games, that we can deliver the best services, best festival, best hospitality, best experience. And also, the legacy is for Taekwondo sport, that the first ever that Pumse was included in Taekwondo as number of event. Lastly, in 2018, the 18 Asian Games become Asia's most celebrated sport event. And then the energy of Asia was exhibited to the world. And, of course, amazed many pessimists. And at the end, after the Games, we have a lot of recognition, appreciation, and praise to Indonesia from all over the world. So since the time is over, Mr. Chapelet, I would like to thank you for your kind attention and listening. Once again, thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing your experience. We all remember this wonderful Asian Games in Indonesia in 2018. And I think you have many legacies and facilities now which make you ready for hosting the Olympics one day, maybe. So, yeah, well, 36 or later. Thank you, and good luck. Thank you. And now we have also Asian Games also, but Winter Asian Games, a case study of Astana Almaty 2011 with Mr. Bektu Kiyat Bey, who is the Director of National Olympic Committee of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Please take the floor.
So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here from Kazakhstan. I represent the NOC. I'm the director of the sports department, but also I'm here as a proud alumnus of the Dream Together Master Program of the Seoul National University. So, thank you. Yeah. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to come to Korea for my studies because of the COVID, so I was the only one out of my group to finish 100% online. So whenever I have the opportunity to come to Korea, to meet you all, to give you a handshake, I do it with much joy. So my message to current students is to enjoy what you have, because you need to appreciate what you have. And good luck. So I would also like to thank KSPO for the hosting such an event, and I would like to thank the whole team for the invitation and for the organization. So now let me proceed with my presentation. So as you may know, Kazakhstan is a relatively young country. We just became independent in 1991, and we became independent from the USSR. So Astana Almaty 2011 was one of the first mega multi-sport events in our history. So it was quite a challenge. As you may see in the timeline, there was a long-term project. So our plan was to go through first step, which was the Asian Games. Then we went on, and 6 years later, we successfully hosted the Winter University Games in Almaty and Astana. And then our nation's goal was to host the Winter Olympic Games. And unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, we lost to Beijing, only 4 votes, and I think they did a great job hosting the games during the pandemic. I think if there's a country that can do it, it's Japan and China. So I would like to thank them for the victory. So next, I would like to give you a quick introduction. So the games were hosted in 2 cities, Almaty, my hometown, and Astana, the capital. We had 26 nations competing in the games and more than 800 athletes, which is quite a challenge to host it in the 2 cities. So if you look at the photo, this is a state-of-the-art facility, the heritage of USSR, the ice skating ring called Medeo. It was built in 1970. And we used it. We used this legacy to host the games. We hosted the speed skating and the bandy competition at this venue. So whenever you have the opportunity to come to Almaty, please visit this venue and take a picture and send it to me. So Almaty, very nice city. Something, you know, this is the photo of Chimbulak Ski Resort, something similar to Alpenzia Skiing Center. So this was the main center of the games because of the existing venues. So we had the ski resort, and our government and local city council objective was to modernize the city in order to attract more tourists. So we wanted to modernize the existing venues because we had to meet the requirements of the OCA and the Asian sports federations. So next is Astana. As you may know, Astana became a capital in the 90s. So basically, the whole country have built the city from the scratch. So it is located like 1,000 kilometers from Almaty, and there was a purpose for our country to host such an event in a long distance because Astana is the capital, and our government wanted to build the international brand. As you may know, we have the cycling team and all the other sports teams who compete internationally. So strategic goal for this city was developing the modern city, and the climate might be a bit colder. Dr. Cho was there and she wouldn't let me lie. So our government wanted to also build state-of-the-art facilities in the closed venue for speed skating, short track speed skating, and figure skating. So as for the challenges, well, I have talked to the deputy director of the organizing committee, and he mentioned the most interesting challenge is, for obvious reasons, we wanted to host the opening ceremony in the capital, in Astana, but half of the athletes, half of the delegations were in Almaty. So after a long consideration, they have decided to rent a couple of airplanes to have a charter flight to get them to the opening ceremony, then feed them the dinner, and then take them back to Almaty, and then they went on to compete. So I imagine it was a big headache, but it was a success at the end. The next would be the weather conditions, but I think during the winter games you always have this problem. So a couple of times we had to reschedule the races, especially in alpine skiing, because of the wind, the fog, and etc. The next one was the accommodation. So we didn't have enough time and, I guess, resources to build the athletes' village. Most of you know that the atmosphere at the athletes' village is something like a fairy tale, but we had to talk to the local hotels. We had a lot of hotels being built at that time, so it was a quite challenge in the logistical part because every sports lived in a separate hotel. So I guess the organizers of the game know that that's a quite logistical challenge. And last but not least, the biggest challenge was the lack of experience in winter sports. So we have never hosted the games, and there was no generation of modern sports managers. So we, as a country, had to rapidly create a generation of the sports managers, thanks to support of the international federations and the OCA. We have successfully done that. So as for the success strategies, number one, I would call the collaborative governance. The organizing committee was controlled mainly by the government because of the importance of the event. So all the ministries, national federations, Olympic Committee, and local city councils, they worked as one team. And for the first time, Kazakhstan have created a separate legal entity as an organizing committee. And they, collected all the resources and distributed it evenly and for the given objectives. And I would also say that community engagement was, for me, the favorite part, because when the games are hosted in your city, the city becomes a fairy tale, and you see that the nation is united and proud. But I will also say that the games were the start for the sports volunteering movement in our country. So I personally know dozens of people who were volunteers at that time and now became sports manager. And 2 of the volunteers currently work in our team at the NOC. And I don't like calling it human resources. I think the games, the Olympics, the Asian Games are about the people. So I'd like to mention a couple of persons. The games impacted a lot of people, but I would like to highlight these athletes because of their connection to Korea. So first is Dennis Ten. He won the Asian Games, and later on he made the history. He won the only bronze medal in figure skating, and he's actually got Korean roots. His great-grandfather was Min Gung-ho, Korean independence fighter general. The next one is Yulia Galasheva. She also won the games when she was 18 years old, and then she went on and won the bronze medal in freestyle mogul in Pyeongchang. I was personally there to greet her. And last but not least, this gentleman right there is Ilya Mizernych. He was just a kid when we hosted the 2011 games. But I am mentioning him because he used the legacy, the heritage of the games. He started training ski jumping at the venues that were built for the Asian Games. And this year he became the one and only Youth Olympic Games champion from Kazakhstan in ski jumping. So overall, I would like to say that hosting the games is quite a challenge, but it brings a lot of memories, it brings a lot of joy, and it serves as an investment for the future generations. So I would like to thank you all for the attention, and also I need to mention that we have not created the legacy funds, Dr. Chaplate, but the next time, if we decide to host a mega event, I'll make such a suggestion because it's a great idea. So thank you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing your experience. Thank you also for showing athletes who benefited from these games organized in Almaty and Astana. It's difficult, of course, to host events in 2 cities far apart. It's almost like a country, the eastern part of the country at least. But you did it, and you did it well. So good luck for the future, and in particular, maybe the Winter Olympics one day in Kazakhstan. So this is now concluding the presentation by the panelists. Now we have time for, we have 15 minutes for questions. So please do not hesitate. You have quite experience shown by existing, I mean, not already organized events and future events like the FISU World Games or the Aisha Nagoya Asian Games. Please do not hesitate if you have questions. Yeah, please, gentlemen.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andres Guzman. I'm from Colombia and also proud DTM alumni from 8th batch, my friend, Vector. So I have a question regarding the numbers and the economic impact or legacy we learned yesterday, short-term, long-term, about the games. So recently there has been a lot of concerns about how close or reliable information about the economic impact of these events, regarding of how specific and real are the measurements that they have been doing. So my question is, have you in any of these games have implemented like a satellite accounts or studies that are very precise to count how much is the economic impact for the country or even to the GDP of the country?
Is it a question for a specific country?
No.
No,
it's open
in general?
question. Yes.
So you want a general answer?
Yes.
I don't know if someone wants to try, but clearly the economic impact studies are difficult. And now, well, they've been done for more than 40 years, but now we have quite reliable economic impact studies if a number of criteria are respected. For example, defining the region to which this study applies. It's often not done. Defining also the time length of when do you measure the impact. Now there are good methodologies to measure impact, but they are not always applied, unfortunately. And I don't know if they've been applied in the cities or will be applied in the cities we have heard about, but certainly this is part of the motivation of hosting big events and by cities and regions, that is to have some economic impact, also social impact and environmental impact, but certainly the economic is one of the important factors. But I don't know if it satisfies your response to your question, but clearly this is a topic which should not be forgotten and which has not been discussed really in the presentation. But in 10 minutes you cannot do everything. Does anyone want to add something about economic impact of all your events? Or yeah, please.
I think the economic impact is more applicable for the developed countries as for the developing countries. In our case, it was an investment in the infrastructure, so reconstructing the roads, creating the new public transport system, and constructing the venues. So it was a long-term investment, and as for the effect on the GDP, well, it's quite challenging to count it. But for us, as a developing country, it was more like a long-term investment, and for something more or less intangible, I would say.
Interesting comment. Many cities and countries sees organizing event as an investment rather than an expense. Yeah, you want to add something?
Yeah, in Chungcheong, 2027 FISU Games is, in our case, we conducted a kind of PC analysis by Korea Development Institution. So, and then our total budget is 130 million euros, but our the kind of the benefits and the economic effects is more than 2 times based on the budget. So, and then my point is the economic effect is important, but the more good thing is for kind of mega event is kind of legacy, kind of dream and seed money, and then kind of we can more culture or more a lot of things to get through this event. So, and then I think we don't have to just kind of the estimate economic event. You can see the more a lot of legacies, more things through this kind of sports event. Yeah, thank you. I think that is a very good question. Thank you.
Interesting comment. Yeah, it's not only about the economy, it's also about the social aspects, and the fact that your region, your city has hosted many times important events is clearly a sign that it is worth it for you, for your region. Okay, thank you. There was one more question in the back, yes, also from a DTM student. We have a DTM session right after, in the afternoon, after the closing of this session.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Love Mo from Zimbabwe, a DTM student. My first question goes to Director Kim. Is there a platform or a model that you are going to use to recruit volunteers? Since you didn't highlight it in your presentation, maybe you can share clarity on that, because I believe for an event to run smoothly, it requires to have volunteers in place. My second question, it could be open, but it can also go direct to the last presenter. How best can we preserve the legacy of Winter Games because of issues of climate change? I want to believe in the next coming decade, Winter Games might not exist due to climate change? Thank you so much.
Also a very interesting question, but first let's start with volunteers. Who do you want to address a question to? Or every other organizer? Or volunteers. This was your first question. Let's start with the first question. For me? No, for you, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for appointing me. And then I want to reply for the second question, climate challenges, and then next decade is quite challenging for all of us. And then, yeah, and then the volunteers, and I think kind of the very key factor to success the mega sports event, kind of passion, very talent volunteers, and also about sufficient budget, kind of the right things in the right time based on the timetable. That is very good thing and very important and very essential.
You're going to have volunteers, of course, in Chungcheon. And when will you start the process of recruiting volunteers? When will you do it?
Yeah, and then now we already have a kind of basic plan, but then next year, very early next year, we're gonna start to the kind of the select the volunteers, kind of the various field, and then yeah.
In 2025.
Yeah, 2025.
Okay, good. Thank you. And now the climate change, I can assure you, I've been in Astana and Almaty, and well, Almaty, there is plenty of snow. Shimbulak, in particular, the ski resort, which is at the back of Shimbulak, is the Himalaya mountains. So there is plenty of snow, for sure, in the wintertime.
Well, I think that when it comes to sports, people always come up with some creative decisions. So I think in the long run, the humanity will come up with something new and interesting for the Winter Games. Ice skating events are not in danger, so they can be held at the venues, at the closed venues. Well, about the ski venues, well, it depends. I hope that the climate won't change that drastically, but we have the example of Saudi Arabia, who are willing to host the next edition of Winter Asian Games in 2029. And you may go out there and see the concept video, and they're doing something really impressive. And I think that's the future. I think we will have some more Asian and even African countries hosting the Winter Games with the development of the technologies.
Well, thank you for this response. Clearly, skiing has a problem with the snow, but there are other sports in the Winter Games. Maybe sports which will not be on ice or snow, like karate, for example, could be in the Winter Games maybe one day. But this is a new idea. I will not discuss it now. Time for more questions, maybe? Yeah, we have still 5 minutes. Anybody? If not, we are going to close. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't see you. Please.
Hello, my name is Ghais Al-Faraj. I'm a DTM student as well. I have a question about the University World Games. It's a technical question. What are the criteria for the university teams around the world to compete in these games? Because I haven't heard of university teams from my country, for example, from Jordan, participating. So what is the criteria to be in these games for teams?
Yeah, and I think I need help for the FISU. Yeah, but I think we have two kind of things. From first one is age. Age is between 18 and 25, and the second criteria is kind of every country has kind of their national kind of sports federation that kind of you must be university student enrolled. That is the second criteria to enroll these games. Yeah, and then we're gonna have a head of delegation meeting, and a lot of we'll give you information about our FIS Games 2027 games. Yeah.
Thank you for this answer. This is basically like the Olympics. You have to go through your national federation of university sports, and then to the equivalent to the National Olympic Committee is to be selected to participate in the World University Games at the international level. Does it answer your question? Yeah, so you have to go through your country, Colombia, and different organizations that exist for university sports in Colombia. Colombia, I got it right. Oh, Jordan, sorry, I don't know. Oh, yeah, the other one was from Colombia, sorry about that. But it's the same all over the world. One last question. Yep, that's still time, and then we will conclude. Yep, please, Ja.
Hi, I think I introduced enough early this morning, but my name is Gia, and I have a question for Mr. Kim and Okumura-san. So you both have upcoming games coming up. You've talked about how you will succeed in the delivery of the future events, but what are the biggest challenges that you guys are going through right now, currently? Thank you.
And then, yeah, we're gonna a lot of challenges, and then every day we're gonna tackle the issues, a lot of things. The first one is, I think, the budget issue. As we can see, the Paris Olympic Games is not enough money to build new facilities and venues. We also kind of budget issues, and also our OC has kind of the dispatches from the 4 cities, different cities. So, and then our human resources kind of a lot of the different work cultures. So, and then collaboration is a kind of second challenges. And then, yeah, and I think the biggest challenge is kind of money issue, and second one is kind of communication, collaboration, and then that is our second challenges. Yeah, but and also we have a lot of solutions to tackle that kind of issues. Also, we have a lot of meetings, and then kind of for the kind of collaboration, for the better communication to tackle the issues every day. Thank you.
I think the most difficulty is the fund problem because of the COVID-19 or the unacceptable problems. The cost is higher than we organized expected. So now we have to reconsider our schedule of something, venue or plans. So I think our most difficulty as of now is fund problem.
Yeah, well, many challenges, of course, but we are coming to the end, and thank you very much for participating in this panel. Thank you also in your name to all the panelists. This was very interesting, really very instructive lessons. And now I hand back the floor to the top moderator, whatever it is called.
Yes, you are the top moderator. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please give them a big round of applause for the wonderful sessions. Now, please return to your seats. Thank you. Yes, I would like to thank all of our speakers for their inspiring presentation, and the discussions have certainly given us a lot to think about regarding the legacy and future of the Olympic movement. So, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the Seoul Olympic Legacy Forum 2024. And I would like to sincerely thank all participants, moderators, and speakers for their valuable contribution. And I hope the forum's discussion provided deeper insights into the global perspective on the Olympic legacy. And now we will proceed with lunch, and VIPs are invited to Seoul Hall on the second floor, while lunch for other participants will be served in Arirang Hall, also on the second floor. So please follow the signage and step for the guidance. And after lunch, the Dream Together Seoul 2024 sessions will begin at 2 p.m. So please return to your seats by 1:50. So please make sure to join us at the afternoon session. And also, the lunch time is the perfect opportunity to participate in our Instagram event, so don't miss it. Enjoy your meal, and thank you once again. I'll see you back in here in the afternoon session. Thank you very much.